So before we get into this video, a quick disclaimer again, I will be covering spoilers for Season 4 of Overlord. I will be covering Volume 10 and Volume 14 of the light novel series. So you have been warned, I will be covering spoiler territory. So in my previous videos, I've talked about, of course, Renner's relationship with Climb and Ainz, and of course, what is in the box. One correction I do want to make is that in the previous video, when I talked about what was in the box, was that there were 2 seeds in the particular box. I was actually incorrect. There was only 1 seed in the box. I made that blunder accidentally. There was only 1 seed. That 1 seed was for her, and then she was given another seed later on in Volume 14, which of course was for Climb. So she got one in Volume 10, which of course is shown in the anime recently, and then of course she got another one at the end of Volume 14, which again, one for her, one for Climb. And that was of course given to her because she fulfilled the wishes and the desires that Albedo and Ainz had, which of course was betraying and doing the job that she was asked to. So the thing that I want to talk about is at the end of Volume 14, there's an interesting debate going on between many fans that the relationship has very much soured between Renner and Albedo, and of course it is not hard to upset Albedo. Albedo is someone that you can tick off very quickly, especially if you make Ainz do anything that she does not like, whether it's, you know, slightly taking him out of convenience. And one of the major things, of course, that happens in this particular volume is Ainz plays the role of the jester and kind of takes on this evil, diabolical villain to take on Climb, and Climb tries to play the valiant hero to protect, of course, the princess, that being Renner. And it is kind of fun to see it play out because, of course, you know that Ainz is going to completely mop the floor, but the way it plays out is quite entertaining as well. And I think it's done in a multitude of different reasons. One, because I think Renner wanted to see how far Climb would go to devote himself to protecting her, but also to kind of demonstrate just how powerful, of course, Ainz is. But one of the things that Albedo kind of gets a little bit ticked off about, and this is again from Renner's inner thoughts, so I'll delve into that a little bit more later, but one of the things is that Albedo is a little bit ticked off that, one, Ainz had to go out of his way to play the jester and the role because any inconvenience in her eyes is very much an annoyance. Even if Ainz is sitting there thinking, oh no, he wanted to do that, she could see it as an inconvenience because it could have been him doing other things. I mean, to be honest, Albedo is a little bit possessive when it comes to Ainz, but again, anytime I say anything critical about Albedo, I generally get 101 comments telling me how I'm a horrible person for ever doubting their favorite waifu. But the reality is, let's be honest here, Albedo can be a little bit possessive and a little bit crazy, but that's what makes her fun and interesting. That's one part of it. The other part is, of course, Albedo kind of realizing that Renner was holding back some of her geniusness, her intelligence, her capability. And at the end of all of these events, Albedo kind of twigs that, you're a little bit more smarter than what you're leading onto. Of course, from their perspective, Demi and Albedo do believe Renner to be very smart, very capable. But Renner is someone that was kind of holding some of those cards back and not showing her full intelligence. And so Albedo kind of twigs that there's a little bit more that meets the eye. And so in Renner's inner thoughts at the end of all these events, after Climb has been killed and brought back to life and he's in Nazareth with her, he's now woken up and he's kind of still coming all to, and he's kind of muttering and moaning and, you know, not all there. Renner, of course, goes over to him and mentions about how now that they serve Ainz, Nazareth, and she basically says, you know, she's turned herself into an imp and she's going to live forever, and selfishly she asks Climb to also change his race to become something else so that he can live his life out with Renner. Now you've also got to realize Climb does have some feelings for Renner. It's obvious from a mile away that Climb had some feelings, but because of his duty, he felt very honor bound to just be more of a shield, a protector, and would put that first before ever indulging in any of his feelings. Of course, her father at the end basically said, hey, if you take her, run away, I will let you have her. You can have her in marriage, run away, find some place safe in a farm, whatever you need to do, and live your life out. Just take her to safety. And at one point, Climb is sitting there thinking, maybe I should do this, like just take her against her will and run. And that actually makes her quite happy, because it makes her realize that, yes, he does actually have feelings. As much as she probably already kind of knew that, because she's not stupid, seeing it play out in front of her is more the pleasure. She wants to see it more so than actually know it. Like, she can tell the feelings are there, but she wants to see him kind of a little bit more act on it, because he's always kind of been that, you know, loyal puppy dog that doesn't want to show his feelings, trying to be, again, as I mentioned, that wall, that guard, the honor-bound individual that he's been brought up, inspired by those close to him, by, of course, two major individuals that have helped him train. And so to see him play that out and show those feelings has definitely made her quite pleased. But of course, he decides that he will agree to serve Ainz, serve Nazarick, and do the race change so that he can spend eternity with her. Now, after that, she leaves the room, talks to Albedo, and of course shows her undying loyalty and says that she will do even more to serve them as best as possible. And the reason why she does that is because she clearly accidentally let loose that she has a little bit more intelligence that she's letting on, and that she doesn't want to tick Albedo off any more than probably what she believes she had. She believes that she's reset their relationship back to ground one because of the little play that she made Ainz play in, which of course was the gesture and all of that. So in Renner's mind, she believes Albedo's not particularly probably pleased with it. Now, this is the part that can be interpreted in two different ways. I've seen many Overlord light novel fans say that, oh no, Renner's, you know, overdoing it, their relationship is fine, because you've got to remember, they did have a bit of a close, not super close, but they had a bit of a girly girl kind of relationship when you see in Volume 10 when they're talking about their love and devotion to who they love. I mean, Albedo asks, tell me more about your little puppy dog. And then Renner says, tell me more about Ainz. So they kind of share their love and devotion to the man that they truly love and adore. But Renner believes that she's kind of blown that good grace and has reset it to ground zero. Many light novel fans believe that not to be the case, that Renner's over-exaggerating a little bit. And some light novel fans believe that Albedo has reset her thoughts about Renner back to ground one because of the fact that Albedo's realized that Renner does have more intelligence than she is leading onto. Now, I leave the question up to you. Which one do you decide? Because I don't care either or either. That's one of the things that I love about Overlord, and I've said it a million times, I sound like a broken record, that the author does leave many things very open to interpretation, so it adds for fun dialogue between fans to kind of sift through little pieces and go, well, this is how I interpret it, and this is why I interpret it. Or someone else can say, well, this is why I interpret it, and then you can have that fun dialogue backwards and forwards. But of course, one of the downsides to that is, of course, with the anime, light novel, and manga community, some people don't like difference in opinions, and they can be quite vocal. So it's one of the strengths for Overlord light novels, but also one of the weaknesses is not so much the light novels, but the community and sometimes how they bicker amongst each other. But I still think the benefits outweigh the negatives, and I really do love the way you can interpret some of these things in many different ways, though sometimes the writer has a tendency to leave too many things open-ended to the point where you do need some more context. But in this case, I do think it's quite interesting, because to me, I've always found Albedo someone that you can very easily tick off, even unintentionally. And I mean, just in that same volume, Albedo was ready to punish someone that did something in her eyes wrong, but even then, this woman didn't do anything, and that, of course, was the Eight Fingers, the Hilma character that was, of course, dealing with Philip. So she was very quick to be like, all right, let's punish Hilma. But Ainz is like, well, no, because she didn't do anything wrong. This is all Philip's doing. And then Albedo kind of does the whole spiel, oh, well, you know, it's her fault because she was overseeing Philip, and that's like, well, actually, you were overseeing Hilma, and I'm overseeing you, so by default, it's all my fault. And that's where Albedo goes, oh. So the context of that, and what I'm trying to get across, is that Albedo is someone that you can kind of very quickly rub the wrong way, and really the only person that can kind of ever really change her mind is someone that she truly respects, say, like, again, Demi, but even then she has a tendency to not always want to agree with him. And then, of course, Ainz, who she will, of course, listen to with undying devotion. So I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. How do you interpret this? Do you see that Renner's blown good grace? What do you think about the theatrical, the play that she made Climb and Ainz play out? Of course, in the throne room, where of course her father was lying there dead. Riv, of course, Razor's Edge. How do you interpret it? And I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Of course, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more anime content, and I'll see you, beautiful nerds, in the next video.